With new polls showing his Democratic rivals well positioned to make him a one-term president, President Trump is wrapping up the third summer of his presidency by lashing out in all directions as he watches one of his biggest priorities, the border wall, at a standstill, and the economy perhaps unable to sustain its extraordinary pace. What seems to be unsettling the president are the poll numbers. With the election 14 months away, a new Quinnipiac poll shows Trump trailing each of the top four Democratic candidates by double digits. Look at these numbers. Former Vice President Joe Biden leads him by 16. Senator Bernie Sanders is up by 14. Senator Elizabeth Warren by 12. Senator Kamala Harris up by 11. Meanwhile, New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, beset by low poll numbers, announced late today she's leaving the presidential competition. But the president does not get more than 40% in these polls in any of the matchups with the Democratic frontrunners. 40% is his top. Trump has held an approval rating in the low 40s in most polls, and the Real Clear Politics average has him at about 43. Now, Trump's been counting on the reasonable prospect that once the Democratic nominee is actually selected at the convention next summer, his position will be strengthened, that he will look better in comparison. But those new numbers just out now, the matchup numbers, may explain why in recent days we have seen the president attacking everyone that he thinks has done him wrong. Lobbing attacks at the mayor of San Juan in Puerto Rico as the island braces for Hurricane Dorian. Attacking Fox News, which used to be his favorite channel, but he now says it isn't working for us anymore. And of course, his default target, the media. And with the new poll numbers putting him back up against the wall, the president's reverting to his standard playbook and crowd-cheering hits like "Build the Wall." Well, the Washington Post reports that the president is so eager to complete hundreds of miles of border fence ahead of the 2020 presidential election that he's directed aides to fast-track billions of dollars worth of construction contracts, aggressively seize private land, and disregard environmental rules. Well, the president's telling aides he would pardon, that's his word, them should they have to break the law to get that wall built. Well, the Washington Post adds the president has told senior aides that a failure to deliver on the signature promise of his 2016 campaign would be a letdown to his supporters and an embarrassing defeat. That's how he sees it. The president's denying that he offered pardons, tweeting it was made up by the Washington Post only in order to demean and disparage fake news. For more, I'm joined by U.S. Congressman Jackie Speier from California, Robert Costa, national political reporter for the Washington Post, Jason Johnson, politics editor at The Root, Katie Rogers, White House correspondent for the New York Times. Congresswoman, I love politicians who tell me they don't read polls, and yet everybody reads polls. Everybody pays for them. Everybody acts on them. This president seems to be acting on these polls. They're scaring the Jesus out of him. He seems to think he could lose to Kamala Harris, lose the socialist, the self-described socialist, Bernie Sanders. He loses to all. Do you believe he's in that deep water right now? Just the numbers. Do you believe him?
I think that he believes those numbers, and I think that he's showing paranoid symptoms, and it's becoming very worrisome. Probably the best poll number in terms of him recognizing he's in trouble is that now polls show that the public believes the economy is not helping them 37% and is helping them 31%.
Well, wait a minute.
So
you are distorting that number. Congresswoman, you're distorting the number. 61% of the new poll you're quoting say the economy is in an excellent shape right now. 61% say it's excellent. And of the 60, 30-something of them, it's getting better than excellent. And you're saying you give me the 37% at the wrong end of the fact there. The big fact is they do like the economy.
Well, the statistics I just saw showed that the question that was asked relative to is the economy working for you, it was 37% no, 31% yes. So maybe we're talking about two different polls, Chris.
I guess we are. Well, the latest poll we got was the 61%. And my question is, will you think that Trump's in trouble because people think the economy's not working for them? Is that right?
No, I think he's in trouble because of his actions. I think the deeper he goes, now that he's actually said that Fox News isn't working for him, I mean, that is probably the most real comment he's made. And it shows that he's lashing out at everything, even his beloved Fox News. So I think it's more his behavior than it is anything else.
Robert, you're a student of this guy. What do you think? Do you think these numbers are real to him? The matchup numbers, the numbers that show him losing to Bernie, Warren, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, big time, all of them.
They take seriously inside of the White House that they face a possible threat from a strong Democratic nominee in 2020. And so they're looking at things like executive action on the border wall to try to get that base activated on the Republican side, knowing that they face a real tough outcome in Congress this fall. Speaker Pelosi may not bring the USMCA to a vote. They may not get anything they want.
The NAFTA substitute. But why doesn't he blame it on the Democrats, Katie? They don't want to help on the wall. They don't want to help him on detention centers. They don't want to help on any of this stuff.
I mean, I think the media might be an easier foil for him right now. I mean, it's just what he's always relied on. We're not giving him favorable coverage on his border wall, on all of the wins in the economy. I think he's lashing out because he really feels inside the White House the spin is.
You think he gets a good press?
Do I think he gets good
Yeah,
press?
good press. Now, would you say a good press?
I think he would say he does not get good press. I think he often gets fair press. I think he gets aggressive press, but he hits right back, and I think that invites more scrutiny on him.
What do you think, Jason? Because he's obviously an unhappy man right now, and he's unhappy because I think the polls are roughly accurate. They generally are. Mm-hmm. The size of these polls, the one we had yesterday, was 17,500 people being surveyed. These are strong evidences of a problem.
Look, the political scientist in me pays attention to that number because that's huge when you've got that many people that you're actually polling. But here's what's dangerous. The real campaign season doesn't start until after Labor Day. So if you're doing this bad in the polls already, it's one thing when you're losing to sort of the generic Democrat. But at this point, Joe Biden's at 100% name recognition. So is Bernie Sanders. If you can lose to Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris this early on, when there's still people who don't know them, that is a very bad sign. Should he be worried? No, we've still got a long time to go. But should he be concerned about how his presidency is being viewed going into the holiday season? Yes, he should.
You're a hard man to read, Jason. Who do you think is going to win the election next year?
I have no idea.
I think you're laughing in a way that some sort of ironic brilliance there. Anyway.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.